here we got a, I would consider a legendary hip hop artist, Mr. Liff, out of Boston. He's noted for having just all kinds of political and socially conscious lyrics. He's just released some great albums like Emergency Rations, and I heard it today, and he's done a lot of great work with other just prolific hip-hop artists like Jedi Mind Tricks, Aesop Rock, LP, and now he's been doing a lot of work, like you said, with Thievery Corporation. Mr. Liff, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me, fellas. How's the night going?
Going good, man, going good. Just to kind of get people who might not have heard of you acquainted, I've kind of pulled out some lyrics from a couple of your tracks. This is from your latest, your newest self-album. The title's called Collapse the Walls, and the lyrics that I pulled out are, work a steady day job, then go home. You're free to roam anywhere within our zone. Not really loving all the options. Here's a little tax break, now go shopping. Am I the only one that feels hollow? A sense of sorrow from a pre-designed tomorrow. This world only exists for monetary cause. We should use our mind power to collapse the walls.
Yep.
So what exactly were you thinking about when you write that kind of thing? Like what is in our society are you trying to highlight here?
I mean, really, it's just feeling like I guess the generally oppressive constraints of just day-to-day life. I mean, I think for myself as an artist, I just tend to feel that divide between the creative work that I feel I was put on this earth to do, and you know, just some of the day-to-day administrative things that I inevitably have to do as a grown man, you know what I mean? Just, you know, how stacks of paperwork or bills and stuff like that just inevitably creep up in one's life. And those things do tend to feel somewhat constricting, man. You know, there's this code of, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say code of conduct, but, you know, we all kind of have to subscribe to the grind on a certain level. You know, tax time hits us all and stuff like that. So really Collapse the Walls, I was just talking about, that song was kind of, in the first two verses, I'm identifying some of those, you know, shackles, if you will, the things that just keep us maybe grounded in not the most imaginative ways, and then the desire to break free and step outside of those things by collapsing the walls of your mind and just like collapsing the walls of the way our minds have been boxed in, and just looking for different horizons, you know.
So what are some other examples of these shackles that you see in our society that you kind of like express in your music?
I just, I don't know if I could like rattle off a list of things. I just think that, just think of the things that just think of what you consider your default setting for day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Like, what are your standard beliefs? Whether those things are just like believing in just like traditional monogamous relationships, or, you know what I mean? Like, or if you were kind of droned into, you know, during your educational path, thinking that you were supposed to do a certain group of things, and you know, you might even now be acting out. Who knows? You know, and so I think a lot of us are at least acting out on some level things that have been droned into our heads at a young age. You know, whether that be following some sort of path in terms of like religious faith and subscribing to some sort of like organized religion, or you know, working a day job that's unfulfilling and kind of crushing your spirits, even though like, you know, you could probably in your own ways like look beyond that and like and find something that's more of a middle ground between where you want to be and where you are. Like, I just think that there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of default settings that are kind of offered to us along the way that are reinforced by people who are also carrying out those actions. And it's sometimes tough to just remember like that you should listen to the voice within, you know what I'm saying, within yourself, that's, you know, that people would probably identify as like your gut instincts, and just move in those directions. You know, I actually have a saying that says, if you're following your heart, you're moving in the right direction, you know?
What are your musical inspirations growing up? What was Mr. Liff listening to as a kid, and what do you currently listening to? What do you currently listen to? Obviously, a lot of artists listen to music nowadays to get more inspiration. So what was your past inspiration and the current musical inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, past inspiration. I mean, I grew up in a house that was just always filled with a lot of love and music. I mean, you know, like on Saturdays, my dad would actually, you know, like bring home brand new 45s. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would just like go and just pick up vinyl all the time. So it's like I heard everything from, you know, of course, the Thriller album was big in our house, but, you know, I was hearing like, you know, REO Speedwagon, Pat Benatar, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Good
Rick
band.
Springfield, like
REO.
all types of like old, like, you know, we're talking 80s here. But I mean, just like if it was a hot record at the time, my pops brought it home. And, and I'm just trying to think, I also, stumbled onto things that I still love today, like, Van Morrison, Astral Weeks, or I don't know, I'm trying to think, Threshold of a Dream by the Moody Blues, or just all different types of records we had in the crib, which ended up being records that I, when I first started producing, I would like throw them on the turntable and try to, draw a sample or two from those records just because they had an influence on me, and I just wanted to see if I could do my own takes on them. Nowadays, wow, what am I listening to for inspiration? It's almost like I have to scroll through my iPhone, right now to just try to figure out exactly what's on the playlist. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, like lately I found myself going back and listening to like Dr. Octagon and Dr. Doom a lot lately, just like old vintage Cool Keith. I got some Lee Fields' Faithful Man in here. I got Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. That's one of my favorite albums. Phantogram, Eyelid Movies, Q-Tip, The Renaissance. Tough Crew, Danger Zone, Whitefield Brothers, Earthology. There's just a lot of different records. I mean, earlier today I was actually listening to Balloon Mind State by De La Soul. I'm not saying these records are super brand new, but those are a few of the things that are in my iPod now.
Those older artists you're mentioning, those are right up my alley. That's for sure. A little Rick Springfield. I'm Puerto Rican and Venezuelan, and my dad loves the Allman Brothers Band. He went to college up in UT in Texas, so Austin. He's all about the Allman Brothers. And what I want to ask is about. I'm so passionate about music. I'm a big advocate of seeing live music. My favorite band, Humphreys McGee, they showcase more of a live style of format. And I truly feel that music has no race. Music doesn't see race, doesn't have a color. And the artists you were mentioning, the older artists, are predominantly white artists. But just describe in your mind this. How music sees no race, just how any artist of any culture from any country can inspire an average American or someone in England. Describe that.
I just think that's the beautiful thing about art, man, and just like one of the things that I love about musicians. It's just like nowadays I find myself trying to dive deeper and deeper into just like whatever poetic senses I have within, because I just feel like, if you're writing lyrics and then they go to a song that people hopefully like the beat and the chorus and everything, and hopefully they get with the verses too, and it has some sort of like it resonates with them in their life. I also just have hit this phase too where I just want like when people read the lyrics to just feel like they're reading something that they consider poetic and something that's hopefully beautiful or possesses a type of intrigue. And I just think that I think that's the beauty of it, is that anyone of any race that I think just carries like a genuine inspiration in their heart and a real desire to make something that reaches has, you can have the ability through your craft to just to write that song that relates to somebody's situation who is, if you're in America, you write a song and maybe someone in Australia feels it, or you know what I mean? It's just, it just really is, it's just, I don't know, man, music just touches us all in so many ways. It's just like, I mean, I remember when, Radiohead dropped In Rainbows, man, and there were just so many things that I was going through in my life. Unfortunately, actually, I had lost a couple friends during that, not long after, and, like their music helped me get through, I mean, thinking about like Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy, just like that was when I was just like, a young man just kind of trying to forge my own identity, and just like hearing Chuck D's voice and strong morals helped me become like just a stronger individual. I mean, it's just, yeah, you're right. It doesn't know any, it knows no race. Today I was listening to Neil Young, The Harvest, man, like that record was talking to me real loud. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't trade being a musician for anything in the world, man.
A lot of great artists you were just mentioning there.
Yeah.
Great music.
So I got another track that I would like to mention some lyrics from. This is off the track Culture of Fear, which was a collaboration with you and Thievery Corporation, which really feel the funk in them in those collaborations, by the way. But
I love doing them.
So the lyrics go, culture of fear, it's up in your ear. They're telling us terrorists about to strike, maybe tonight, right. Let me just sit back up slowly with critical analysis of those who control me. It used to be we just had a screen in the crib on the TV, but now we carry screens when we leave. See, laptops, smartphones, now we're never alone. A new affliction, I call it media dome. But on the road, famine is the programming. You want to watch your favorite show because it's so slamming. Hold hands and let's glaze into the beautiful glare while we're here so immersed in this culture of fear. So